I'd like to tell you a story about how I came across this piece of Carrara marble. Now, Carrara comes from Italy, and they mine this marble, and Michelangelo's David came out of this same quarry with this. It's the finest statuary marble in the world. That is, it's consistent through and through. There's not streaks of dark or light. It's all the same. It's just wonderful. Now, there was a man in this neighborhood, Kingsport, he was a sculptor. And when I first started teaching, I met this man, and he came and even spoke at some of our meetings and stuff, the student body, and he spoke in the gym, and I remember how thrilled I was that he would come and speak to us about sculpture. His name was Edward Bowling, and he's carved statues for the local airport, and he's got statues in the bank downtown, Kingsport. And he found out that I taught and was interested in sculpture. I'd done some things in clay and this and that and the other, and maybe been in the paper a couple of times or something like that. Anyway, he said one time, I want to give you some marble. And said, I will. I said, well, I don't want you to do that. Let me pay you a little something. So I believe I did maybe pay $10, $15 or something. It's just not much of anything. He said, I also have some chisels that I've just about worn out, and said, I'm just going to give them to you. They were in a canvas bag. So I really appreciated that, and he said the sculpture, the block was just square as it could be, and just smooth and just perfect. And I thought, golly, I haven't carved anything. What in the world am I going to carve? And this was my first thing. It's kind of, I guess, used it as a practice thing. I thought, golly, maybe I first went to Michelangelo's book, and of course it had all his famous Pietà and David and numerous other sculpture in there. But Moses is one, and I like the looks, kind of like the looks of his Moses. But anyway, I kind of looked at that. And I thought, well, I'll just try one here. I'll just try a person. It didn't have to be any particular thing to me, but I liked the way he emphasized muscles and stuff. And of course, I just thought, and like the rest of the world, that he's just about the greatest thing I'd ever seen as far as sculpture goes. So I started on this, and later on, when Ed Bowling saw me, and he came and he said, what have you carved? And I said, well, I started on this head. And he said, well, that's odd. Said, I would have bet that you had started on carving in from the side of it, the flat part. I said, well, no, I think a face would occupy more of a corner of the block than anything. If I started in the center, I'd have to carve too far in there to get the form of the face as it goes back. It's real steep. If you took your hands and put on there like that, that almost forms the corner. So I got to put his nose out there. In effect, it saved saved stone by carving it in this manner. That is, the face was at the corner. Now, marble is actually real good, easy. I'd say not easy to carve something beautiful or something noteworthy out of it, but it is kind of soft. You can carve it with a chisel, and if I took my pocket knife out and I was determined, I could probably cut that with my pocket knife. It's a soft, but it's a very dense material. That thing weighs, that head would weigh, we'll say, around 70 pounds. It's extremely heavy. But it's just nice to the touch. It's real cold. But it'll work down if you want to sandpaper something or use emery cloth on it. You can sand it down. It's just as slick as you want it, and you can make things stand out by doing all that. Now here's some places that I didn't want to leave my cut marks, fingerprints as such. I wanted it to be smooth as compared to this hair. Now I'm not going to tell anybody that they say, well, that looks kind of ropey. I believe I could do much better hair now than I did on this. This would fall in under the name of, I don't know, stylized. I believe if a person was describing this beard, for instance, they'd say it's stylized. That is, it's more in a pattern than natural beard would be. I can attest to that. Because I can look in the mirror and feel my own, and it doesn't feel like this. However, as an artist, you can do it's your sculpture. If you want it that way, do it. I made mine kind of ropey because I was a beginner. I believe I would do so much better, especially on it. I didn't do too badly on the features of the face, but I would believe I would try a little bit harder. However, there are some parts of it I like, even just if it forms a pattern. I kind of like that pattern, and I like the pattern relating it up here to his eyebrow. There's just little ridges, little S-shaped ridges there.